Hey, this is the BLS, the Bob Lee Show. I'm your host. You're watching Open. And, it's a live interactive program that brings the Bronx and New York City straight to your TV set. So here we go. We got it going on for you. Stay connected to us through social media at BronxNet TV. Now, leading things off, our first guest is a self-published author and illustrator, and she joins us to speak about how her book, Kids Who Create, is helping empower our youth. Please welcome to the show, Qiana Farres. Welcome, Qiana.
Good morning and happy Monday. Thank you for having me.
Happy Monday. It looks like you're surrounded by a brick wall. It's a brick wall. Where are you calling from right about now?
Actually, I am live from the Grand Cubano in Englewood, New Jersey.
Oh, okay. That's not that far. That's like right across the river a little bit, right?
Right across. Beautiful aesthetic. I feel like I'm sitting here in Cuba. It's beautiful.
It's all good. It's all right. We're connected. We're connected. We're right across the river from you, right across the George Washington Bridge from you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So what do we have? You've been an entrepreneur. Talk about how you got involved in it and what's it all about and what you're doing.
Well, entrepreneurship has been something that has resonated with me since I was young, whether it was selling ripped jeans, selling rides to school, babysitting, and I've taken the gifts that I've had over the years and learned how to evolve them into something different. So, with the creativity, I'm a very creative person. And I didn't always believe in my creative talents. I knew I was creative. I just didn't have the encouragement to believe that it would be useful outside of the classroom.
Uh-huh.
I could paint my way to an A in art class, but I didn't think that I would be in this position now
Yeah.
as a published artist, helping children also believe in their ability to create.
Yeah, you just didn't see it yet until you got out and said, well, wait a minute. I can do something like this or like that. What inspired you to write and publish your first book?
I was going through a very stressful situation in my
Uh-huh.
life, and I wanted a way to positively cope with that. And so the way I knew how to do that was to touch back into the creative things that I liked to do when I was a little girl, which were reading, writing, and drawing. And as I was doing those things, they evolved. My writing evolved, my drawing evolved, and the things that I were reading evolved as well.
Yeah.
And I was able to turn these things and utilize the journals, the themes from my journals, the motifs, and create this book that encompasses all of that. Because in that time, I also had to self actualize and come up with the creative
Yeah.
solution to the problem. And I did.
Yeah. Was it tough? Did you run into any problems putting it all together?
It was challenging. The toughest thing of it all, though, were the limitations that I set on myself. Because I mentioned a classroom earlier. So if you think of sitting in there with the four walls around you, sometimes we have those walls in our head and they're not physical, they're just mental walls. And so learning that I had the power to remove those walls from my imagination and the limits that I had for myself, that was probably the hardest part. But once I was able to do that, and you see it in the real world where our abilities are limitless and moving in that direction without fear, that was probably the hardest part about it.
Well, Qiana, if you can move walls, you can move mountains. And you know
Mm-hmm.
how it works. How has
Yeah.
kids who create grown over the last 3 years, and how is it empowering our youngsters?
It has evolved tremendously because originally the idea was that it was going to be an affirmation book where children would write, they would read, and it would be positive affirmations. And the evolution came with the help of my young cousins, who were the perfect target audience that I was looking for as I was creating the book.
Uh-huh.
And in our interactions, realizing that there was a miscommunication in the direction of the book, that
Yeah.
they didn't understand the process. We're sitting there confused. So then I understood, okay, the book needs more direction. And the direction that I want the children to go into, the vision was that they would, like you said, be more self-actualized, that they would be able to be inspired by the creative gifts that they have and
Mm-hmm.
be able to essentially be the author of their own life, which is the reason for the fill in the blank style of the book, because I like that each of the copies of the book ends up being as unique as the author who wrote it, who created it.
Yeah. And I see this came through the pandemic, right? I see you're holding the books with a glove. How has the pandemic impact your writing timeline?
I was actually very fortunate and very grateful for the pandemic because when things shut down, it's like I got a moment to sit down and think. And I learned how to utilize my time and my energy better. So every day I would write something. My goal would be, okay, I'm going to add a couple pages. I'm going to add a couple paragraphs. I'm going to add the next chapter. And each of those little steps and those little actions, by the time I was done, I had the book in order and learning new skills and what we can do. I learned how to create the illustration for it. So I wrote it, I illustrated, and I also self published it. And if it wasn't for the pandemic and having that moment where, where God has us sit down, I don't know what I would be doing. So I was very
Yeah.
grateful for the pandemic, especially a time where a lot of us were encouraged. Discouraged,
Yeah.
excuse me. So it was very nice to provide a book to families where children could feel like they're interacting with other people. They felt like they were interacting with me because I had open ended questions in the book. I shared stories about my family, my friends, even my flaws, to encourage them that yes, we do have strengths, we have skills
Yeah.
that are unique to us, but we also have areas of improvement, and that's okay. That's
Absolutely.
absolutely
Yeah. Yeah. Who are we showed some pictures a little while ago. Who are the youngsters holding up the books or in the pictures?
So the youngsters were actually two young ladies I had met early who had loved the book. They got the opportunity, and I got the privilege to be able to meet them and talk to them about what they were interested in. And once they saw the book, they were in love. They went, and I had to give them a pen off the table just so they can begin creating immediately.
Yeah.
So that inspiration and that, thank you from them, that appreciation, it made me want to keep going and continue to create essentially.
So now these kids are creating along with you. They're writing. You're getting them involved in writing and publishing.
Yes, the kids in the classroom actually were kids that it was a school that I had went to when I was a child,
Yeah.
and one of the parents asked if I could come in and meet the students and read the book with them, and they also had a great time. She purchased books for the whole class. I signed each and every one of them to each of the students, and we did a couple pages in the book together there, and they loved it. They really did. They didn't even want to switch to their next subject, so that was very encouraging.
That's good. Hey, that's good. If you just put the brakes on the class right there, saying, "Hell, this is the book you should check out."
Mhm.
They didn't want to go to the next subject, right? Let's stay
They
right
enjoyed
here.
it. They did. Especially that each one was personalized to them. I signed
Uh
each
huh.
of the books to the students by name and wrote them each a special note because, like I said, the book is a fill in the blank style book. So
Oh,
the
good.
kids essentially have to fill it in, and they have a huge role in what the book looks like once it's actually finished. Because I leave space for them to
Oh,
be able to
good.
create
Yeah.
whether they're writing, they're drawing, and it was very nice to see what they come up with, how their perspective shifts when they have to consider. Because I ask them, I say, when was the last time you were kind to someone? And then I make them think. I said, now, when was the last time someone was kind to you, and how did that make you feel? And I have them express it in different ways. They have to write about it. They have to draw it, just to be able to enhance their communication, their creative thinking, their critical thinking.
Yeah. And you know what? That could be maybe something that you can use for your next book.
Absolutely, and it's on the way.
that's
I can't stop now.
that's in the plans, huh?
Yes, sir.
So you got that, and what else is coming up inside of those plans?
Inside of the plans, well, I don't want to say too much because I love a surprise.
I got
But
you.
with the creative side of things, we're also going to focus on a curriculum of books that focuses on literature,
Mm-hmm.
pronunciation, punctuation, conjugation, and we're also going to focus on math, on reading, addition, subtraction. But then we'll also focus on the emotional intelligence of things, whether it's kids who are empathizing, kids who are communicating,
Yeah.
kids who are forgiving, kids who are healing and growing.
Yeah.
And so that's the direction of everything is in the theme of self-actualization.
Any events that we can come to that you have coming up?
Not that I have coming up, but the month of February, I'm open to pre-orders because we're looking to get the books into schools and with creative programs, girls and boys programs, creative camps. So you can check us out like that on our website. But hopefully, we'll be coming soon to a school or a community center near you where we can do a book signing and open one up for the community.
That's beautiful. I like that. So don't give us all your secrets, but when you come back, you let us know about them, okay?
I absolutely will.
All right. Website, social media, give it all so we can jump in and follow you.
Okay. Well, we'll start with my website since you mentioned it first. It's kianafarres.xyz.
Uh huh.
There's a tab there for the kids who create. On our social medias, my personal is Q for Qiana. If you want the kids who create one, it's kwc.xyz. And you can stay tuned with us there.
All right. So give me one that stands out, that's hot, that everybody jumps on. Q for
What prompt?
no one social media spot or one is there a website? You mentioned a website.
Yes, it's KianaFarris.xyz. No .com, .xyz.
KianaFarris.xyz.
Yes,
KianaFarris.xyz. I got it.
thank
We
you.
reinforced
What
it.
resonates, what resonates the most with people, I think, is probably my Instagram because it's Q for Qiana. Keeps
Got
it
it.
simple.
Beautiful. All right. Keeping it simple. They always say KISS. Keep it simple.
Yes.
Thank you, Qiana Farres. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And thank you, Billy on Entertainment, for the opportunity.
You got it. All right. Qiana Farres, author and illustrator. Kids who create. It's a beautiful thing. Make sure you check her out, all right?